We welcome His Grace Sarva-drik Prabhu. Prabhuji, I am audible to you? His Grace Sarva-drik Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your nice presence. I just give the brief introduction of Sarva-drik Prabhu because I come to know about Sarva-drik Prabhu because he generally gives classes, Srimad Bhagavatam classes in the temple. And 1973, he joined ISKCON under Srila Prabhupada at the age of 20, very young age. And in 2018, he moved to Siddham Mayapur with his good wife. He's staying here. So today's topic, basically, he gives a small introduction about Damodar Leela because today is the Damodar Mass first day of Damodar Mass. And moreover, today's topic is worship, first one, and second one is going beyond the three modes of material nature. So over to His Grace Sarva-drik Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, direct disciple.
Hare Krishna, Haribol devotees. Nice to see you. Thanks to Jayant Prabhu for arranging everything.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, all devotees. It's your morning there, I think. You're in India or you're in America?
I'm at Mayapur, Siddham Mayapur Prabhuji.
Yeah, you're in Mayapur, but other devotees?
Other devotees, my wife, my daughter, they are in Kolkata, and other devotee, he is in Canada. Vishnu Prabhu is in Canada.
Okay.
He stays Vancouver, Canada, and more devotees will join soon, I think so. Prabhuji. Today also actually Lakshmi Puja also. Today is Lakshmi Puja, so maybe due to some restrictions.
Okay, sounds good. So let me get a proper view here, just a moment. Okay, so before starting, I should offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of you. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Kacharani Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Nama Shishtam Manomati Sachiputramatra Sarupam Rupam Tasya Vijamuratarim Matarim Pushtavadim Radha Kundam Girivaram Moho Radhikamadavasam Prabdo Yasya Patita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Vatmasam Vande Nanta Bhuteshwayam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vichopi Yat Prasadat Bhakti Shastra Bhavatika Nityanandamaham Nami Sarvananda Karam Karam Harinam Pradam Devam Bhagavata Sharam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Vancha Kopati Vascha Kripa Sindhya Utitanam Pavani Vaishnava Vande Rupa Sanatana Sujiva Nipamate Vandai Tulsi Devai Priyai Krishna Sacha Krishna Bhakti Paridevi Satyavate. So I was asked first to say something about Damodar month, Damodar Mass. This is a very special month called Urja Vrata. And who is Urjeshwari is Srimati Radharani. So this is a special month for the opportunity to especially please Srimati Radharani, which is our highest objective in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. There's no higher objective in Gaudiya Vaishnavism than to take shelter and render service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So we pray this. Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Vahini Kripayani Japadhaja Dasyam Bhajam Prajiyatam. And we pray, O Srimati Radharani, you're an ocean overflowing with nectar. Please give me service at your lotus feet. So we serve Srimati Radharani. We want her blessing. Why? to be engaged in the service of the Lord. She's Lord's Laidini Shakti. She's as good as Krishna. And her mentality, her objective is to engage every soul in Krishna's service. So during this month, this is Radharani's month. Damodar Mas is Srimati Radharani's month, where she is more merciful and extends that mercy to anyone who wants to pick it up. It's something like this. Let's say, for example, you wanted to buy an expensive computer. And that computer cost 2 lakhs. You thought, I just can't afford 2 lakhs. But then you open up your email, and there it is. That computer, that 2 lakh computer, is on sale for 75,000. Would you buy one? Of course. That's such a great deal. You know, buy one, get one free, practically speaking. Buy one, get one free. They call it BOGO. Buy one, get one. So of course because it's on sale, it's a special discounted rate. So it's a crude example, but Damodar Mas is something like that, where that which is more difficult to obtain in regular time of year, the rest of the year, is especially easy to obtain in this month, and that is the merciful glance of Srimati Radharani. The Lord Shiva prayed to Srimati Radharani. Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka Namra Padmajati Himadaja Palomaja Varinchi Javara Prade Apara Siddhi Riddhi Digda Satparan Guli Nite Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripaka Chakshavati. Lord Shiva is praying for a merciful sidelong glance of this personality that is being worshipped by all the goddesses of fortune, by the wife of Lord Brahma, by Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, by the wife of Lord Indra. They're just looking for a fragment, a particle, a ray of mercy coming from the toenail of Srimati Radharani. She is so great. So this is the time of year we can petition her to get more mercy from her. So this is Urja Vrata. She is Urjeshwari, and we want to get her mercy. So that's available for the smallest thing, by offering a lamp, by singing this beautiful Damodarashtakam prayer, which is full of wonderful rasa, wonderful relationships, mercy. So when we sing that, it's a beautiful song, but we shouldn't be distracted by the beauty of the song. We should enter into the meaning of the song, memorize the meaning of the words, memorize the meaning of each verse. And when we sing, our mind goes to the Leela. And we see the Leela within our mind that Krishna has been a rascal. He said, now I'm going to do something more bad. And he pulls down our twin Arjun trees. He's breaking the yogurt pot. Mother Yashoda is chasing him. Mother Yashoda is not, sometimes we see pictures of Mother Yashoda. And she's just like painted like a model. She has very heavy body, heavy hips, heavy chest. And she is chasing Krishna. And she's sweating. And the flowers are falling from her hair. Her hair is becoming undone. And she's trying to catch Krishna and she can't catch him. But Bhakti Badam, by her bhakti, she catches Krishna. So when we sing these songs, we should bring our mind to the meaning of the song, enter the leela of the song, and this we get tremendous taste. This is our prayojana. This is our objective in Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti isn't just about rules and regulations. No, 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 no. Don't do this, don't do that, blah, blah. There's many rules and regulations for Kartik Vrata also. Different fasting, different abstaining from different types of foods. These are external things. The essence of it is to hear, to chant, and remember. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. To hear about the beautiful pastime, the Leela of the Lord, to chant His glories, and to remember, to enter into their meaning. And this is a special opportunity. There's a story in Hari Bhakti Vilas about, it's actually in Purana somewhere, but it's mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas, about one mouse. This mouse had a habit of eating the ghee. There'd be a small amount of ghee left in the ghee lamp after it was extinguished. So her habit, she became very addicted to eating the ghee, and she was eating this from the diya. One day, out of hunger, she began to eat the ghee from diya that was still burning. And the ghee wick got stuck in her teeth. And out of pain from the burning heat, she began to jump in front of the Lord. She's a temple mouse on the altar, and she's jumping like this out of pain in front. Lord took it, oh, this soul is offering arati to me. She's not offering consciously arati, but the Lord is so kind. He took it, oh, this soul is offering me diya. So the mouse was born as devotee in this next life. And from there went back to God. And this is the kindness of the Lord. Even the smallest, even inconsequential, unconscious service yields the highest benefit. So what is the benefit if we consciously offer diya to the Lord and pray with all our heart for His mercy to be engaged in His service? Pray for the mercy. Kripa Katakshabhajana, the sidelong glance of mercy from Srimati Radharani. How much mercy is available? We can't imagine. Everything we do in this Kartik Mas is magnified 1,000 times. So everyone should take advantage. We should read Bhagavatam. We should chant attentive japa. We should offer diya every day. Recite Damodarashtakam ideally, morning and evening. Worship Tulsi Maharani. Read Upadeshamrita. In other words, engage our consciousness, our time, invest our time for the most beneficial result. And that is Krishna Prema. Because this is the result. This is our prayojana. This is our artha. Our real benefit in life is to engage in these things and experience love of God manifesting gradually in our heart, step by step. So this is Damodar. This is a whole class in itself, Damodar month. So the topic at hand was, this phrase was coined by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, popularly known as Mahatma Gandhi, although he never manifests the actual qualities of a Mahatma. Bhagavad Gita says, Mahatmanas tamam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Who's a Mahatma? Who takes shelter of the divine energy of the Lord, who takes shelter of Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna. What is he doing? Next verse, Satatam Kirtayantamam Yatantas Chandanavan. He's worshiping the Lord with in determination. He's always chanting the Lord's name. These are the symptoms of Mahatma. Mahatma is not a rubber stamp title. So he is the one that coined this phrase that work is worship. And this is completely bogus idea because people work in this world. Why? They work for the fruits of labor. They're not working because they love their job. They're working because they want to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And what does that mean? Practically speaking, it means paycheck. They're working for money. They're not working just to worship God. I'm going to work every day to please the Lord. Lord's not pleased by your endeavor for artha, for material advancement. What is their objective? Get money so they can worship their tongue, their belly, and their genital. This is their worship. To get money and enjoy sense gratification. So how is it possible that work is worship in this life? But this phrase was coined by Gandhi and also echoed by his associate, his contemporary, Rabindranath Tagore. I looked it up. Rabindranath Tagore wrote one very atheistic poem. I can find it here. Yes. He wrote, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he wrote, this is Rabindranath Tagore, who was an associate of Gandhi. Gandhi used to call him Gurudev, and Tagore was the one that manufactured this Mahatma name for Gandhi. So they were associates, and Tagore wrote, leave this chanting and singing and telling of deeds. Whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with all doors shut? Open thine eyes and see God, and see thy God is not before thee. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard ground, where the pathmaker is breaking stones. He is with them in sun and in shower, and his garment is covered with dust. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him come down to the dusty soil. Come out of thy meditations and leave aside thy flowers and incense. What harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stained? Meet him and stand with him in toil and in sweat of thy brow. So this is the atheistic mindset of Tagore and Gandhi. Then work hard, and that is worship. God isn't part of the picture. Spiritual life means, because work can be worship, but this is not what they're saying. They're saying, work hard and enjoy the fruits of your labor, and make the nation progress by your hard work. Because Gandhi was a nationalist. He was also a very atheistic mentality. He writes that I don't believe there is any such historical person as Krishna. He didn't even, but he's carrying Bhagavad Gita, go figure. But he writes in his memoirs, you can look it up, mcgandhi.org. Yes, anyway, I think mcgandhi.org. Anyway, so he wrote there, I don't believe there's any such person, any historical personality such as Krishna. How can he understand Bhagavad Gita? So they came up with atheistic phrases like this: work is worship. But work can be worship in Krishna consciousness, when Krishna is the enjoyer. There's a section in Bhagavad Gita, many of you will be familiar. Lord says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tvayam, Yome Bhaktya Parichtati, Tadaham Bhakti Paritam Ishnami Prayadakam. That you offer me with devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. If it's with devotion, Bhakti Paritam, I will accept it. Such a wonderful thing. Next verse he says, because someone may think, I gave the Lord, he's asking for leaf and water. I gave him tulsi dal and pani, tulsi and water. He asked for the so, and I will eat pakora and puri and halava, cham cham, palak paneer, all delicious food, and I'll give tulsi and water to the Lord. That's all he's asking for. No. Next verse he says, Yat koroshi, yadashnasi, yastahosi dasi, yat tapasasi konteya, matkurashva madarpanam. Whenever you do, whenever you eat, whenever you offer or give away, whenever austerity you perform, matkurashva madarpanam, offer to me. He's not saying you can't work in this world. He's saying work, but offer me the fruits of your labor. People are fond of quoting this verse, Karmanyavadikaraste mahapaleshu kadasham. But they forget that one has a right to do his duty, and one should do his duty. And mahapaleshu kadasham, the fruit of your work is meant for the satisfaction of the Lord. Then work can become worship. If the fruit of your labor is invested in the happiness of the Lord, in the Lord's service, that is worship. Not the fruit of your labor invested in your personal, selfish sense gratification. So Yat Karoshi Yadashnasi, Krishna says, whatever you do, you offer to me. And what is the result? These 3 verses. Next verse says, Shubha Shubha Palarivam Mokshasi Karma Bandhana Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishasi. This wonderful thing. It's when we work in this way, working for the satisfaction of the Lord. Yat koroshi, whatever you do. Yadashnasi, whatever you eat. When we work in this way, what is the result? Shubha, Shubha, Palariva, Mokshase, Karma, Bandhanai. We become free from the reactions of pious and impious work. People are a religious person is interested to do pious work, to build temples, to distribute literature, to feed the poor, distribute clothes, medicine, dig wells, plant trees, all wonderful things. But this type of karma that isn't for the benefit of the Lord is bad karma. Why is that? Someone will ask. But Shastra says you do this. Why you're saying bad karma? It's bad karma because that karma will force you to come back to this material world to enjoy the good result of that karma. But when we make Krishna the enjoyer, Shubha, Shubha, Ashubh, and Ashubh. Auspicious and inauspicious work. Mokshase, karma, bandhanai. We become free from the reaction to work, because every work in this world that is unconnected with the Lord has a result. It binds us to this material world. Sannyasa yoga yuktatmo vimokto mam upaishyasi. This is the most wonderful thing. Krishna consciousness is so simple. Vimokto mam upaishyasi. You become liberated from the reaction of work, and mam upaishyasi, you come back to me. We go back to Godhead by this simple formula. Offering our food to Krishna for his satisfaction. We have to eat something every day. We have this mouth problem. We have to feed it. And belly problem. We have to feed it twice, thrice a day. Otherwise we die. We're obliged to feed our stomach. So every day we're working, we're eating. So if we do this simple thing, Jagashishta Shana Shanto Muchante Sarva-kilvicha. When we eat Jagashishta, the results of sacrifice offered to the Lord, prasadam, we're cooking anyway. So if we invest a few moments' time, get one plate, no one else eats on it, it's Lord's plate, Lord's cup, Lord's glass, and on that plate, whenever you cook, you place a portion of that food, and you place that plate with whatever you've cooked before the Lord, ring a bell, recite prayers, say, my dear Lord, this is your atta, this is your chawal, this is your sabji, this is your water, this is your everything, I'm also yours. Will you please accept this from me? And he's very happy to accept this simple offering. His yadashnasi, I eat, I accept your offering. And that is prasad. And just by eating spiritualized food, we sanctify our body and sanctify our consciousness. And ultimately, at the end, go back to God. This is working for Krishna. Not working and making big bank balance so I can drive Mercedes and wear diamonds and gold and furs and live in Riviera and extravagant life. We should have comfortable life, nothing wrong. But there's a big difference between extravagant life and comfortable life. Just like, for example, I worked in the jewelry industry for 20 years as a watchmaker and jeweler. So for $20, you can go to Walmart and you can buy a watch that tells you what time it is. Or you can spend $500,000 and you can get a custom-made platinum diamond watch that does the same thing. It tells you what time it is. This is extravagant life. Have a comfortable life, wear a watch, drive a car, have a home, no problem. But make Krishna the center, work for Krishna. Jagartat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma kunteya mukta sangha samachara. Tadartam means to work for the satisfaction of the Lord, to make him the enjoyer. So devotee also lives in a house. Devotee drives a car. He has his bank balance. He has his wife, his family, his income, his food, his clothes, his whatever. Everything's there. Devotee, he's not lacking anything. But his consciousness is very different from a materialistic person. And if you place them side by side, you can't tell the difference. You can tell the difference by their behavior, and you can definitely tell the difference by their consciousness, because the devotee thinks, this is Krishna's home. This is Krishna's bhoga. This is Krishna's altar. These are Krishna's clothes. The devotee offers whatever clothes he gets, he offers to the Lord. Whatever food he gets, he offers to the Lord. Whatever new household utensil comes, we offer to them. This is for your service. He sees everything belongs to Krishna because it does. He says in Gita, Bhumera panalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyami binna prakritir ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, and ego. These are all, this is all mine. Binna prakriti, my separated eight material energy, it's all mine. Every atom of the creation is the property of the Lord. So a devotee doesn't claim proprietorship. He knows, Ishava seminam sarvam, yatkincha jagatam jagatena chaktena bunjita madgridaha prasasvindana. He knows everything animate and inanimate is owned and controlled by the Lord. Therefore, he's happy with his quota that's set aside for him by the grace of the Lord. Because people have this insane idea that if I work really hard, I can get more. But the fact of the matter is that we have a certain amount of prosperity and a certain amount of loss that is destined for us. Srila Prabhupada said that we can't get more in life and you can't get less. Imagine how stress-free our life would be if we really had faith in that principle. That I can't get more. I can't get more prosperity than I'm destined, and I can't get less. I'm destined to lose a certain amount. I'm destined to gain a certain amount. So I go about my work for the satisfaction of the Lord, and I become satisfied with the result. But this is a fact of life. This is why Bhagavad tells us, Tasyaya heto prayate takovido, nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyada, talabhyate dukkha vidanyata sukam kalena sarvatra gabhira rangasa. That one should endeavor, a thoughtful person, kavi, a thoughtful, intelligent person, endeavors for that goal, for that achievement that isn't available. They're wandering from Satyalok down to Patalok, all over, wandering throughout the universe, seeking happiness, seeking satisfaction, seeking fulfillment, and never finding it. Where do we find it? In Krishna. And as far as material satisfaction is concerned, the second part of the verse says, Talabhyate dukkha vanandita sukam kalena sarvatra gabhira rangasa. That happiness comes to us in exactly the same way that distress comes to us. Nobody goes to the masjid, the mandir, the synagogue, the church, the gurudwara, and prays to God, give me trouble. Please let my house, Lord, please let my house burn down today. Let my business fail. Let me get some horrible, incurable disease. Please let me wreck my car today. Please bless me in this way, Lord. Nobody prays like this. But any honest person will say that some disaster, some unhappy thing comes in everyone's life to some extent, to some degree, at some time in everyone's life. This is the nature of the world. Dvandva mohena bharata. It's a world duality. We want to enjoy happiness, but because we want to enjoy happiness, we're forced to enjoy concomitant distress. It's the nature of this world. It's a world of duality. There's no pure, unadulterated happiness, no utopia. There's happiness and there's distress. So because we came to this world thinking, I will be happy, we also find distress. So distress comes to us, we don't have to pray for it. Bhagavatam is saying happiness and prosperity comes in exactly the same way without asking for it. And everyone goes to the temple and they fold their hands and they say, oh Lord, bless me. I'm poverty stricken, please bless me. Lord can bless you. But when they get the fulfillment of their prayer, they forget about God. Prabhupada gave me an example. He said in World War II, all the mothers and the wives and the sisters and the cousins, they went to the synagogue and the church and they prayed, God, please send my brother back, my father, my uncle, my cousin, my husband, send them back safely from the war. Most of them didn't come back. And when they didn't come back, when they died in the war, those people all became atheists. What is the use of God? He didn't fulfill my desire. Is this God's business? His only business in life is to satisfy our desire? Like he's some order supplier, ring the bell, ding, 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 ding. Okay, I gave you, now give me. God's not our order supplier. We're meant to please him. We're meant to offer to him because as everything in this world belongs to him, we also belong to him. So work becomes worship when we understand that. When we understand I also belong to the Lord and I work for the satisfaction of Krishna. And this way is explained very beautifully in Srimad Bhagavatam in the first canto. There it said, Atak kumbhir dvija sheshta varnashrama vivagasa sanushtitasya dharmasya sansitir haritoshanam. What is the highest achievement? Sanushtitasya dharma, of one's own individual character, one's own individual dharma. What is the perfection of that? Sansitir haritoshan, to please the Lord. In this way, everyone has an equal opportunity to please the Lord. It's not that a mother with children can't please, only sannyasis, brahmacharis can please the Lord. No. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Mam hi partibhya pashyatya, ye pisu papayone astriyo vashyastata shudrastepi yanti paramgati. Everyone who takes shelter of me, Krishna says, can achieve the highest destination. Paramgati, we go back to Godhead, simply by taking shelter of Krishna, no matter who you are. Ye pisu papayone, we're papayoni, fallen, sinful person. Anyone can go, whoever takes shelter of Krishna. No discrimination. If we learn this simple art of working for him. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur set a beautiful example. He prayed in one nice bhajan, Manasa Geho Deho, Manasa Geho Deho, Yoki Chumor, Arpilun Tuapane Nanda Kishore. He said, O Nanda Kishore, my dear Lord, that my mind, my body, my home, Yokichumor, whatever little bit I call my own, I offer to you. This is perfect Krishna consciousness, and anyone can do this in any walk of life. It's not that one has to take up renounced order of life. This is practical renunciation. Anashatya karma phalam, karyam karma karochida, sasanyasi cha yogi cha nanyaragnya chakriya. First verse, 6th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Lord explains directly what is sannyas. Sannyas doesn't mean changing the color of your cloth and the way you tie your dhoti and you carry a stick. Now I'm a sannyasi? Krishna says, no. Who is a sannyasi? Anashitya karma phalam. What's karma phalam? Means the fruit of our labor. We work and we get some benefit, some pay, some paycheck, some paisa, some money, some rupees, some pounds, some pence. Karma phalam. Someone, so Krishna is saying, anashitya, someone who doesn't take shelter of the fruit of his work, yet karyam karma korocha, yet works as he is obliged. Because we come to this world with many obligations by our karma. Obligations to society, obligations to family, to wife, to husband, to children, to boss. We have many obligations to the government. We have many obligations in this world. Karyam karma means you work and you fulfill your obligations, but you don't take shelter of the fruits of your labor. Krishna said, this is sannyasi. Not someone who lights no fire and performs no work. Lights no fire means grihastha ashram. Because grihasthas have relationship with fire. We live in a home, we have a stove, and we cook food. Without cooking food, we don't eat. So we have relationship with fire. We also use fire in Agnihotra. We offer yajna, swaha, swaha, swaha. So if someone gives up his relationship with fire, does that mean he's become sannyasi? Krishna says no. If he stops working in this world, has he become sannyasi? No. Someone who works for me, tadartam karma konteya, mukta sangha samachana. This is sannyasi, because both virtue and sin bind us to this material world. But when we think tadartam, this is not just for some benefit in a future birth, for some punya, sukriti, but this is to please Krishna, tadartam, not virtue and not sin. Devotee has no interest in mundane virtue, and we avoid sinful life. Our only interest is working for Krishna. We live in this world for the satisfaction of Krishna. Sansidhya paritoshanam. So this is work for Krishna, and this was shown by our acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a prime example. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a magistrate of Puri, which means that he was in charge of all the courts of Puri. He had to try all the cases. He has to make judgment on all the cases. He was in charge of the Puri temple. He carried a wristwatch, not a wristwatch, a pocket watch. And he insisted that all the offerings, he brought everything up to the proper standard where all the offerings were occurred at exactly the correct time. And he was a powerful preacher also. Not only was he district magistrate, not only was he in charge of the temple, not only did he take care of 11 children I mean, we think it's a challenge to take care of one or two. He had 11 children, a wife, family, job, responsibilities. But he also had 500 Bhakti-vriksha groups under him. 500. He started this whole Namhata program right here in Mayapur, Sudevi. Boro Sukher Kabordai, Boro Sukher Kabordai, Boro Sukher Kabordai. He wrote this beautiful song, Namhat, Namarhat Kuleche. This Namhata at this place of Nityananda Prabhu was established by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he expanded his preaching activity to the extent they had 500 Bhakti-vriksha groups that he was directly in charge of as the sweeper of the Namhat, to maintain purity, to maintain spiritual consciousness, spiritual purity in all the Namhatas. So this is the example. Such amazing contribution. And not only that, he would sleep just a few hours, he'd eat very little, and he'd spend the night writing priceless contributions to human society, Gitabali, Sharanagati, Krishna, Chaitanya Sikshamrita, tremendous instructions in simple Bengali language that millions of people today are still singing these beautiful songs written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Prabhupada said these songs by our Vaishnava Acharyas, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Govinda Das, all these great Vaishnava Acharyas. I'm not remembering everyone's name right now. And he said, these bhajans are non-different from the Vedas. He said 3 times, non-different from the Vedas, non-different from the Vedas, non-different from the Vedas, because they present Vedic conclusion in beautiful Bengali poetry, sung to attractive, harmonious melody. So this is a contribution of one Grihastha. So Grihastha ashram also, we should understand, is where people are working. Work also doesn't mean just going to a job, driving to the library, driving to the grocery store, taking your kid for soccer practice, going shopping. This is all under the category, it's work. Karma. Karma means work. So it doesn't mean just your occupation. Whatever we're doing, we're working in this world. If we don't do that for Krishna, it binds us. So Grihastha ashram is the ashram where we're working in this world at an occupation. As a dentist or doctor, architect, housewife, raising children, fireman, totawala, whatever your occupation is, we're working. And this is the strength of our communities also. But we have to teach this principle of making Krishna the center first, because when Krishna is the center of our work, if he's the beneficiary, tadartam, if he's the beneficiary of our work, we become happy, we become satisfied, we make progress in spiritual life. But to the extent Krishna is not the center of our life, to that extent, we become unhappy, we become unfulfilled, we become morose, depressed. Making Krishna the center is putting Krishna in his rightful place, because he is the center. When we don't acknowledge that, then we become unhappy. But to acknowledge Krishna's rightful position as the center of everything, as the enjoyer of everything, tadartam, everything for his satisfaction. When we acknowledge that, we become happy in this world. And this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. And this is the process to get to the second leg of our discussion about how to transcend the modes of material nature. This is the process of transcending. These two ideas are linked, they're intrinsically linked. That we transcend the influence of the modes of material nature by putting Krishna where he belongs, in the center of our life. Because the modes of nature are in competition to drag us away from the Krishna conception, from the conception of reality, that Krishna is the only enjoyer. Bhoktaram Jakatapasam, he says, 5th chapter, last verse. Bhoktaram Jakatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Gyatva mam shanti. Everyone wants shanti. They say shanti, shanti, shanti. But how to get shanti? Impossible without acknowledging Krishna is Bhakta. He is the enjoyer. And when we put him in his rightful place, this is the process of transcending the influence of the modes of material nature that want to drag us away from that and think, I am the enjoyer. Ishwaroham aham bhogi. Siddhoham balavan sukhi. 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Divine and demoniac nature. This is the demoniac nature. Ishwaroham. I am the controller. Aham bhogi. I am the enjoyer. This world is meant for my enjoyment. Siddhoham, I'm very perfect. Balavan, powerful. Sukhi, I'm very happy. This is a foolish demoniac mentality. We're not the enjoyer. We're not the controller. We're insignificant particles of dust in the creation of God. And if we acknowledge that, and if we live that way, this is what it means to transcend the modes of material nature. And this is not an easy thing. Krishna says in Gita, Dairi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mami Vaye Prapanchante Mayamitam Tarantite. He said, my nature, my Maya is very difficult to overcome. Mami Dairi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. Very difficult to overcome, but very easy to overcome. Mami Vaye Prapanchante, if we surrender to Krishna. Then Maya says, okay, okay, okay. And cooperates with us in Krishna's service. If we take shelter of Krishna, Maya is just Krishna's dog. And very obedient to Krishna. Shristi, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shaktireva, Chaiva, Yasya Bhavanani, Viparti, Durga, Ichtanu Rupam Abhiyasya Chitishtate Sa, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Vidam. Maya is the shadow potency of the Lord. And shadow can't move separate from form. If I move my arm here, shadow has to follow. It can't go, shadow can't go over here if my arm's over here. It has to follow form. And Maya has to follow Krishna. Because it's my Maya, Mama Maya, Duratyaya. And the process of overcoming the influence of the modes of material nature is Mami Vaye Prabhadyante, to surrender to Krishna. That's not always an easy thing. One of my godbrothers asked Srila Prabhupada a question in relation to this verse in Bhagavad Gita in the 14th chapter. Mam chayo vyabhicharina bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitam brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Lord said that someone who engages in my devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, doesn't fall down, he at once transcends the modes of material nature. So my godbrother asked Srila Prabhupada, this verse is there, that if we engage in devotional service, that we transcend the modes of material nature. But Prabhupada, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like I'm very transcendental at all. Well, how am I to understand this? Srila Prabhupada gave a very beautiful example. He said that bhakti is like a boat, and material world is like an ocean. The modes of nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas, goodness, passion, and ignorance. They're like the ocean. And the boat is bhakti. And as long as we stay on the boat, we'll cross over the ocean of material ignorance, cross over the ocean of the modes, the influence of the modes of material nature that are duratyaya, insurmountable. But what is the nature of the boat? Srila Prabhupada explained the boat, because it's on the water, you may think, oh, I'm going to follow it, I'm going to follow it, I'll swim for it. If you swim, you'll drown. But if you stay in the boat, in due course of time, you cross the ocean of the modes, the influence of the modes of material nature. So this is the process of transcending the influence of modes of material nature. We're not so strong. Don't think, because I'm very staunch devotee, I'm very fixed up devotee, I will conquer the modes of it. No, we take shelter. Srila Prabhupada gave a very beautiful example. He said, like an elephant. Elephant's very strong animal. Prabhuji, you've probably seen here in Mayapur. Lakshmi and Gulab I think are their names. Very powerful. They can crush you with just a smack of their trunk. Very, very powerful. But if they're by the ocean can sweep the elephant away, can sweep hundreds of elephants away, even though they're so powerful. But a tiny fish, because he's taken shelter of the waves, can swim here and there effortlessly. He's not challenged, he's not concerned about the waves of the ocean, whereas powerful elephant can be swept away immediately. So because the fish has taken shelter of the ocean, he has no fear of the ocean. So in the same way, we're not so powerful. We can be swept away by the emotions of material nature at any moment. So we're beggars. We beg shelter from the Lord. We pray, Ainanda tanuji kinkaram patitam mam vishane bhavam buddha kripaya tavapada pankaja stito dule sadvisham chinta. Oh Lord, my dear Lord, I've fallen in this horrible ocean of material existence. Patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha. Vishame means poisonous. Poison what? Repeated birth, this ocean, a repeated birth. Ambudi. Ambudi means an ocean. An ocean of repeated birth and death. And I'm being born and dying, born and dying, born as a worm, born as a bird, as a Brahmin, as a demigod, as a cat, as a dog, as a cow, over and over again. Bhavambuddha, an ocean of repeated birth and death. Poisonous ocean of repeated birth and death. Please, we're begging. This prayer is a prayer of begging. Please pick me up and place me as one of the atoms of dust at your lotus feet. We're beggars. We should be, and this is the consciousness of the little fish. He knows he can't, what is the ocean? He can't fight the ocean. But he takes shelter of the ocean and he lives happily in the ocean. Whereas a big, strong elephant is swept away. So it's not by our strength. Because we take shelter of Krishna, we surrender to Krishna. Sarva-dharmam parityaja mam ekam sharanam gaja. Aham tam sarva-papebhyo mokshayisyami mahasuchaha. We surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, I'll protect you. Mahasuchaha. Don't lament, don't cry, don't worry. I'll pick you up. I'll deliver you from all sinful life. Never worry what happened in the past. Surrender to me and I will protect you. Just like we just observed this beautiful Ram Vijayotsav, the victory of Ram over Ravan. One of the primary themes of whole Ramayana is Vibhishan. Vibhishan was a Rakshasa, Ravana's brother. He was a Rakshasa, but he was a devotee. He was born in the Rakshasa family, but he's devotee. And when Ram came to Lanka, Vibhishan came and he surrendered to Ram. Bharat and Hanuman said, kill him, he's a Rakshasa, kill him. Ram said, no. He's come for my shelter, I cannot refuse him. I cannot kick him away because he's surrendered to me. Mamekam sharanam. Mamekam. Not this one, that one, the other one. He surrendered to me exclusively. How can I deny him shelter? This is one of the primary themes of whole Ramayana. So when we take shelter of Krishna, as the fish takes shelter of the ocean, then Mama Maya Dharataya. This is the process of transcending the influence of the modes of material nature. So we talked about work, about Gandhi. Gandhi's, I don't know why they call Gandhi the father of the nation. They exalt him, they praise him so much. He's practically speaking an atheist. I don't believe there's any such person as Krishna. Work is worship. All these things. He also, during World War I, he made a big campaign to recruit Indians to go fight with the British. The tyranny of India, who completely raped India, to go fight for the British in World War X, and as a result, 74,000 Indian soldiers died in World War I. He was acting like a stooge for the British. and this is father of the nation. I mean, I'm talking to your devotees, and this is, be careful who you say this to. Because people have this over-exaggerated understanding that he was some great soul, some great spiritual. He was not. He was a politician. Prabhupada said, a saint amongst the politicians, which doesn't, you don't have to be much of a saint to be a saint amongst politicians. But he said Gandhi was a saint amongst the politicians, but a politician amongst the saints. So it was Gandhi who coined this phrase, work is worship, completely bogus idea. That I go out and work hard, I make lots of money and enjoy life. Krishna is not part of that picture. So how is work worship? Work is worship only on this principle of Bhagavad Gita, tadartam karma kontiya. That make me the beneficiary, make me the enjoyer of your karma, of your work. Then work becomes worship. Work is liberating. Mukta sangha, samachara. We become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. And mami vaishyasi, you go back to Krishna. What can be easier? We have to work in this world to maintain us. Krishna says, I'm also working. We have to do something in this world to maintain ourselves. Everyone's working. The bird is working, the dog is working, the man is working, the devatas are working. Everyone's doing something. Everyone's engaged in karma. But the art of work, tadartam karma kunteya, to make Krishna the beneficiary, the enjoyer of the work. So we talked about is work worth worship and linked that to the idea of how it's necessary to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. Because as long as we're bound up by these modes of material nature, we can't go back to Godhead. And it's a very, very powerful influence. Gita says, Sattvam Rajastami iti guna prakriti sambhava Nibadnanti mahabaho dehi dehi navavyayam. Then the soul by nature is pure, but when he falls into this world, he comes under the influence. Mama maya durataya, the influence is sattva, rajas, and tamas. So how to get out? Mami vaye prapadyante, to surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna means yad karoshi yadashnasi, whatever you do, whenever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerity you perform, Madarpanam, you offer to me. And from that, Shubha Shabha we become free from the reaction of work. And Mama Vaishyasi, we go back to Krishna. Such simple, beautiful philosophy. How to live in this world, how to be happy, and how to leave this world. So this is our objective. When we sing this beautiful verse from Dhammadarshtakam, we should meditate on this verse. Varam deva moksham na moksha vadhimva na chanyam prideham varesha dapiha idam tema purnata gopala palam sadame manasya virastam kimanyai. I don't want anything else. I don't want to go back to Vaikuntha. I don't want liberation. I don't want to go to heaven. I only want to have my mind fixed on you, Kimanya. I don't want anything else. So during Damodar month, we should sing these prayers, meditate on the meaning of these prayers, and make Krishna the center of everything we do in life. I hope I said something today that's helpful to you, answered your questions. If anyone has any questions, we can try and answer your questions.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Beautifully, you have explained. So open to questions. At the end, I will ask one question. So it is open. Please ask, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have
Hare Krishna, Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you for the amazing lecture. It was inspiring, Prabhuji, especially the quotes about Gandhiji and like whatever his approach was, and the quotes about Prabhupada. And my first question is, so I was working in India as a software engineer, Prabhuji. So at that time, what I realized, the mentality of most of the karmis, the software engineers in India. So the understanding was like, you can keep on working hard, but at the same time, you can be spiritual. That was the major understanding people had, and so the attachment, like so ultimately Krishna says that only through bhakti you can understand me and you can come back to me. That part was lacking. Like the whole educational system was centered around how to work very hard, and also if you want spirituality, you can practice it side by side. So my question is like, how much that perspective is correct? Like 50% material life, 50% spiritual life. Where will that lead the person to? That is my first question.
Okay. That's karma yoga. That's valid to a certain extent. Higher than nishkam karma yoga, but the highest is bhakti, where a devotee doesn't think this is for me. I'm working for me 50%. And 50% of my life, I want to practice Krishna consciousness. That's good, but there's always room for progress. And the highest progress for Krishna is saying, Yat Kuroshi, whatever you do for me. So this is a step along the way, but there's always something more. And that is to make Krishna the enjoyer of everything we do. Not 50% for me and 50% for Krishna, 100% for Krishna. And that just requires a change in our consciousness. Because if you put one devotee IT professional next to non-devotee IT professional, how will you see difference? They're sitting in front of a computer programming. They're writing code or whatever they're doing. And to the vision of any person, say, what is the difference? What is this Hare Krishna? You're no different than anyone else. Consciousness is very different. Because a devotee thinks I'm working, and with the fruits of my labor, I'm maintaining my temple. He thinks my home is a mandir. And in the mandir, Lord is there in the form of his Murti. And the people that live there, my wife is a Vaishnavi. My children are Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. I'm working to support my mandir, serve my Lord, and serve Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. His consciousness is very, very different than a materialistic person. Even a person who thinks, okay, let me chase dollars or rupees, whatever it is, and then I'll go to the temple on Sunday. That's great. He's a special soul. But there's always something higher. We should aim for the highest thing. Does that answer your first question?
Yes, Prabhuji. And another question I wanted to ask is, so regarding the retirement, right? So the Vedic literature stresses so much on we have to retire from this material life and focus on spiritual life to go back to Godhead. So how to take some steps so that, because nobody guides in the material life. I mean, especially people like me who are working hard in software company. Nobody guides how to leave all these things and then focus entirely on spiritual life. So could you please, because you are very senior devotee, Prabhuji, I am requesting, could you give any suggestions so that what steps we can take slowly so that we can leave this material life completely and gradually go into spiritual life?
Actually, you just answered your own question perfectly. Life, bhakti is a journey. It's a journey. Don't try and be sannyasi prematurely. I wasn't like this my whole life. I also worked in the world for 20 years. I got off easy, actually. I only had to invest 20 years of my life. I retired when I was 56. I'm 70 now. So I got off easy, but life is a journey. And there were times when my spiritual life hit the bottom. I mean, I don't know if you want to hear the whole story, but there are times when my spiritual life was hit bottom. There are times when my spiritual life was very, very solid. So life is full of ups and downs. If you graph it, you're an intelligent person. If we make a graph, let's say one side, x-axis, y-axis, x-axis, time, x-axis, progress. So you go up, Haribol, 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 so nice, so nice. Ah. Okay, you pick yourself up, Haribol, 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 oh. Fall. Ah. Haribo, 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 you fall. Haribo, Haribo. The end result, the net result is come from here to here. You've made progress in the course of coming up and down in your life. Life, Prabhu, is full of ups and downs. Trust me. There'll be times when you're very spiritually fixed up, and there'll be times when you're not. But never give up Krishna and never give up chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And that's, my life is, I'm living in Mayapur. I have no financial worries. I worked, I saved. I have no financial worries. I live in a beautiful place with my wife. I just got back from Harin, had beautiful, wonderful, ecstatic Harinam with Africans, with Indians, with Italians, with Indonesians, with Chinese, with Americans, with Bengalis, with Russians, with Ukrainians, and we're all singing and dancing, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur. I can't imagine so much blessing come to my life. But it wasn't always like that. My life has been a journey. Krishna is the destination. But we have to have that Dhrida Vrata, determination. I'll never give up Krishna, like Haridas Thakur. He told the Shah, or the Chankazi. Chankazi said, you're born in good Muslim family. Why are you chanting this Hare Krishna business? Why this useless Hindu thing? You give it up or I'll kill you. Haridas Thakur said, you can cut my body to pieces, but I will never give up chanting Hare Krishna. We should have that determination. Because we have our karma. There's ups and downs in life. You have your karma. You're a young man. So do what you do, but keep Krishna as the center and make a lifelong, make a plan. It's like an investment business. They're not thinking a year down the road, right? They're thinking 10 years down the road. They're thinking 20, 30 years down the road. Where do I want to be? A thoughtful 20-year-old man is thinking, where do I want to be when I'm 50 or 60 years old? How can I be financially independent and retire when I'm 50 years old? And he makes plans accordingly. So we should take that same consciousness and make plans where I want to be in my spirit. You don't want to spend your life in front of your computer. It's good for you now. I spent many years of my life at a jeweler's bench, a watchmaker's bench. 20 years. My karma. I would have been happier if I was serving that 20 years in the temple or on Harinam Sankirtan or book distribution. But it wasn't my luck. So, but the benefit is I have no financial problem. I have some pension. I live comfortable life. Very relaxing life. We get up early in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, do japa, do kirtan for half an hour, offer puja, pick tulsi, pick flowers, offer bhoga, arti, abhishekam, prasadam. Very solid sadhana program. And I'm not rushing off to work. This is the fruit of my labor. So that can also come to you. Nothing wrong in working, but keep Krishna in mind. Why am I doing this? If you don't have a goal in your life, how will you get there? Make Krishna the goal of your life. And don't let anything stand in the way. No problem. All our acharyas also worked. Prabhupada, if you want to know what to do, examine Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada lived perfect life. He was perfect grihastha, perfect vanaprastha, perfect sannyasi. Not everyone is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Naishtiki Brahmachari. He was excelling in the Sanskrit school. And he dropped out because he figured that I'll become very famous pundit and they'll get me married. So he dropped out. That was his renunciation. Of course, he's a special case also. So not everyone is Saraswati Thakur. We have our karma, we have our desires, we have certain things that we're meant to experience in life. And live your life with Krishna as the center. This is the beauty of bhakti. In Shankar Sampradaya, the first proposition is renounce the world. And then we'll talk of spiritual life. But in bhakti, manasa deho geho yo kichimon, my home, my body, my mind, I offer everything to you. I have it. I'm in charge of it. You've given me stewardship over this body and over some wealth, over a home, some possessions. I have stewardship, but I offer it to you. Consciousness is different, that's all. Only difference is consciousness. So Prabhupada called it Krishna Consciousness. We practice Krishna Consciousness, making Krishna the center of our life. And that is a journey. It's not you snap your fingers and boom. From tomorrow, no more lust, no more greed, no more anger, no more fear, no more this. Not so easy. Not easy at all. Bhakti is a journey. And it takes time to achieve that because we have this high, practically speaking, impossible goal of Krishna prema, of going back to Godhead and participating in Krishna, not just hearing about it and meditating about it, but entering Krishna Leela and participating in Krishna Leela. We have this high goal. But if we don't remember that goal and work towards it, how will we get there? You have to know where you're going. And you have to know how to get there. It's like if I think I need to drive to Delhi. Someone said it's a 2-day drive. I want to drive from Mayapur to Delhi. And if I get in my car and just start driving, I may end up in Assam. You have to know how to get there, what is the process, and you have to know where you want to go. So we want to go back to Godhead, back to Krishna. For eternal life, to participate in Krishna Leela, to dance with Krishna, to play with Krishna, to eat with Krishna, to laugh and joke with Krishna, to worship Krishna. Eternally. Yad-gatvana nivartante tad-dhamma paramam mama. And never come back to this material world of repeated birth and death. We have very high goal, but we have the means to achieve it also. And much of that achievement is based on keeping our vision fixed on where I want to go in my life. This is my life's highest objective. My prayojana. Back home, back to Godhead. Goloka Vrindavan. So whatever comes along our life in the meantime is our karma. In terms of work and prosperity, family life, social life, fame, name and fame, all of those things will come to us by our destiny. We cannot avoid it. So we accept, okay. And there, frankly, there's no guarantee also. The whole Bhagavatam is based on this one word, Miyamananam. Shukadeva Goswami was asked, what is the goal? What is the duty of a person who is on the verge of death? Miyamananam. Whole Bhagavatam comes from that. Who is not on the verge of death? A baby is on the verge of death. Baby is an old man. What does an old man mean? He's closer to death. Who is not close to death? We forget that. We want to live happy life here. We don't want just happy life in the material world. We want to leave this world. We don't want to stay here. Birth, death, old, over and over again. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Over and over and over again, struggling for existence. We want to leave this place. Go back to Godhead. Not in an impersonal, we want to have relationship, love of God. Heart melting in love of God. Because love is the most powerful emotion, even from the material point of view. It's the most powerful emotion. There was a king of England. I don't remember what his name was, but he renounced the throne because he fell in love with a commoner. And they said, you take the throne or you take the girl. He chose the girl. Goodbye. Goodbye, King of England. So this is the most powerful emotion, even materially. What to speak of spiritually? Can you imagine? Falling in love with God. He has unlimited potential to love us. And our problem is we have very limited potential to love him. We have great potential, but presently not very well developed. But this is the objective of bhakti, and it's available in this lifetime. So you live your life. And chant Hare Krishna. Be happy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Vishnu Prabhu, you are finished? You have finished? So my query,
yes,
may I
Prabhuji.
ask
I am finished, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Dandavat
Okay, okay. Prabhuji, I have one query, Prabhuji. You have
Okay.
nicely explained x-axis and y-axis, that one is that the progress in bhakti, another is the time. And sometimes it upwards, then downwards, then upwards and downwards. Ultimately, we reach on the height. So my question is that where we make the mistake so that we cannot hit the bottom. You said that you hit the bottom also in your life. So what are the mistakes we commit so that we do not commit mistakes in our life, Prabhuji, if you explain?
Our first mistake is we came to this material world. I quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita, Satam Rajastamiti, that we've fallen under the influence of the modes of material. This is what it means to fall in the material world. It's not like there's this place high up there and we fill up, boom. Falling into the material world means to fall under the influence of the modes of material nature. And we're all prone for that. There's no guarantee. We're thinking I'm very fixed up in Krishna consciousness. No guarantee that tomorrow, due to some influence, that we become completely bewildered. Lord Brahma became bewildered. Lord Shiva became bewildered. Many histories are there of great sages and saintly people falling under the modes of material nature. And we think we're aloof. Be careful. Prabhupada said about this in particular, said, my Western disciples are very nice, but they're not afraid of Maya.
Yes.
Another time, they asked Srila Prabhupada, and he's standing in front of the deities. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajabi. Srila Prabhupada, when you're standing in front of Krishna, what are you praying? He said, I am praying to Krishna not to fall into Maya. What is our position? What is our position?
Nothing.
We should be afraid.
Yes.
And always beg Krishna, please protect me. Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshnava Krishna Keshnava Krishna Keshnava Pahi Mam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would chant this mantra. Pahi Mam, protect me. Rakshamam, maintain me, protect me. And what is it? Protect our bhakti, protect our bhakti lata beach. So with that mentality, we fall, but not very far. And this is the net of varnashram dharma. Like you may fall, but not so far. And there's no prayaschitam in bhakti except bhakti. There's a nice verse in Shastra. Bhumauskalitapanam bhumirevadhanam vanam tvayi jata paradhanam tameva sharanam prabhu. Which means if I'm walking on the earth and I trip and fall, what shelter do I have but the earth? If you want to walk, you have to walk on the earth even if you trip. So devotee prays in the same way. I make thousands of offenses to you. Aparadha sahasranam kriyanti harnishamaya. I offend you thousands of times day and night. But I have no other shelter than you. So there's no prayaschita but bhakti. There's no prayaschita in bhakti but bhakti. So you make some mistake, you pick yourself up and you go on. This is the power of bhakti. It's said in Shastra that bhakti is something like running through the forest at night with your eyes closed. You're running full speed and you'll never run into a tree, you'll never hit anything, you'll never trip. So bhakti is like that. If we continue the process and avoid one pitfall, Vaishnava Puran, if we're always respectful to Vaishnava. We may disagree, okay, no problem. It's the material world, we're not all the same. But don't disrespect Vaishnavas. Chant the holy name. And in this lifetime, Krishna Bhakti, prema is in our grasp. Highest objective. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give Anarpita Chirim Charat Karunaya Bhatirna Kalo. He came in Kali Yuga to give the highest thing. Unato Jalarasam Sabhakti Shriyam. He came to give this highest ecstatic emotional attachment to Krishna. Krishna Prema Pradayate. And it's in our grasp in one lifetime just by doing what we're doing. Exactly what you're doing. And especially doing Dhamma Dharmas. We get double credit, triple credit, 1,000 times credit for everything we do. With just one piece of cotton, for the price of a piece of cotton and some ghee or oil and a match. And we offer to the Lord. Say, I'm yours. Because this diya has meaning. People ask, why diya? Because this diya is like our life. You light the diya and it burns, and it burns out. So we're born and we die. And we give some light during our life in different ways. We'd have some activity. And then one day, finished. So diya is like our life. We're offering our life to the Lord. That you please accept me. I'm yours. Please accept me. The Mayavadis say, Aham Brahmasmi, right? That I'm you. I'm God. Aham Brahmasmi. Devotee prays, Aham Tavasmi. I am yours. I don't want to be you. I want to be yours. Aham Tavasmi. Tavasmi Radhika Nata Karmana Manasa Gira Krishna Kante Tavaivasmi. A whole prayer like this. Please accept me as yours. Prabhupada said devotees should think, I am Krishna's and Krishna is mine. So we have intimate relationship with Krishna that we've forgotten. So bhakti means to awaken that, to reestablish, to make amends, to reestablish our relationship with Krishna. He's waiting for us. Meditate on that. Krishna is waiting for us in Goloka. When Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Gota Nidda Jao Maya Pisha Chirakole. How long will you sleep on the lap of the witch called Maya? I'm waiting for you. Chalo, come on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam to you, Mataji. Vaishnavi Pranam.
Thank you for your nice class. Prabhuji, I have a question. My question is, I am a household, grihastha. So sometimes I have so lots of work to do at home. So sometimes due to those household work, I don't find time to read Srila Prabhupada's books, or sometimes or some days I cannot chant attentively. So what in that case, what should I do? Sometimes I'm so much overworked, so much pressurized with my work. Should I consider those work as Krishna conscious, or am I into Maya? That I am giving priority to those work, not chanting and reading Srila Prabhupada's books and listening to discourses.
Okay, thank you for your nice Mataji. First of all, you're not alone. Many ladies, many gentlemen also have the same problem. Gentlemen have the problem being overwhelmed with work responsibilities, with boss and business. So this is grihastha problem. Everyone has this problem. So there's an answer to that also. Number one, don't think that your household duties are not connected with Krishna. When you make Krishna the center of your life, all the activities around that center are also Krishna conscious. Prabhupada said, just like if you put iron rod into the fire, the iron rod is not fire, but it becomes like fire by association. So when we associate all our activities with Krishna, those activities are spiritualized. You have a husband, you have children, you have a home to take care of, you're worshiping the deity probably. These are all Krishna conscious activities. Swanushtitasya dharma. This is your own individual dharma. Your dharma is different from that of a sannyasi. Your dharma is different from that of a brahmachari, a vanaprasthi. But sunset here, Haritoshanam, when you think, I'm doing this to please Krishna, would Krishna be pleased if he said, okay, goodbye husband, goodbye children, goodbye home, I'm going to Vrindavan? You think Krishna would be pleased? No. Probably not. When we think, I'm doing this, this is for your satisfaction. To raise your children in Krishna consciousness, to work cooperatively with your husband, to have peaceful family life, to chant together, to read together, and reading Prabhupada's books. What we do here every morning, all morning long, I'm offering puja, Sudevi's cooking, all morning long we're hearing, because all Prabhupada's lectures are online.
Yes.
And many very powerful devotees are also available on YouTube. So instead of wasting time at YouTube with unrelated things, there's many wonderful classes on YouTube. Prabhupada's there, Gaur Govinda Maharaj is there, Gauranga is there. So many devotees are there giving amazing classes. We just listened this morning to a class by, what's his name? He's a new sannyasi from UK.
Vasudev.
No, Swayamrup Bhagawan Prabhu. He's an Indian devotee. It's funny, he's biologically Indian, but he's a Brit. He has this heavy British accent, you know. That's too cute. Also Vasudev Maharaj. So my point is there's many wonderful things you can be hearing. Hearing and chanting is the foundation of our spiritual life. So instead of cooking and just letting your mind wander, this is golden time. Time is the most precious thing. Chanakya said, Ayusha Shana Ekopena Labhya Swarna Kotibi. The time is the most valuable thing because with millions of gold coins, you can't buy 1 second. So the time you spend cooking for your family is gold. Because you're cooking automatically. You don't have to look at a recipe book. You make the same sabji, you've done the same chapati, same dal bhat. You're on automatic pilot. You can have your mind with Krishna. You can be hearing Harikatha. So plug in your phone, get a little Bluetooth speaker. We have a Bluetooth speaker. We find some nice class, link the class to Bluetooth speaker, and hear Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavad Gita lecture from wonderful devotees. And chanting, as far as japa goes, try and find some time to chant attentively. Because inattentive japa will not give you a very fast result. Because inattentive japa is namapuran. When our mind is thousands of miles away thinking about family life or bills or relationships, social this, all hundreds, thousands of things. If our mind is not with Krishna when we're chanting, this is called inattentive japa. And the struggle of japa, yato yato nistilati manas chanchalamas tatastato nayam yaitat atmaneva vashamnaya. It's to bring our mind back to Krishna. It wanders off into nowhere. Bring it back to Krishna. And here, when we hear Krishna, remember Krishna, Sham Sundar, Radha Krishna, Gornitai, Jagannath, Giriraj. Then our mind wanders, bring it back. Wanders, bring it back. Wanders, bring it back. This is japa. To focus, hear Krishna's name and remember Krishna. Nam, Gun, Rup, Leela, Parikar. All things related to Krishna when we chant. So try and find some time. If you can't find 2 hours full time, then break it up. Prabhupada said when he was Grihastha life, he would chant 4 rounds in the morning before work. He'd come home for tiffin, chant 4 rounds, then he'd come home at night, chant 8 rounds. So we break it up. And when we chant, be with Krishna. Don't have one hand in your bead bag, another hand in your spoon cooking, hand in big bag, other hand on your mobile phone. We have this disease, that our mouth is going Krishna, Krishna, but our mind is somewhere else. So main thing is to hear. If you're driving to work, get one of these little SD cards, plug it into your machine, and hear a lecture, hear kirtan, sing Krishna's name, hear Hari Katha, be connected with Krishna by sound. You can do that whether you're cooking or cleaning, or ironing clothes, or worshiping the deity. You can be doing all your household activities and hearing about Krishna. That time is gold.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is that helpful to you?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. You're wearing very beautiful tilak today.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So you must be a very nice devotee, I'm thinking.
No, Prabhuji, not yet. I'm
Keep
trying
chanting.
to become a devotee, not yet.
See, every pure devotee thinks the same thing. I'm not a devotee. I'm just trying to be a devotee.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm miles away to become a good devotee.
See what a nice devotee she is. She thinks I'm miles away from being a devotee. Any other questions?
So, this is now it is 8:40. So, any question? Please ask. Otherwise, we end the session. Any question? Any more questions?
I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes, please go ahead. Quickly.
Hare Krishna, Sarva-drik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Chandradeep Prabhu.
Yes, Charandeep. I am very much pleased to hear your lecture, Prabhu. You spoke very spiritually, so I'm very happy. Thank you very much. I'm
happy that I made you happy.
Yes. So I have a question about when you were working. You said you worked for 20 years at the jeweler bench, making jewelry. And you said like we have problems in life in general. Everyone has problems. But somehow you remembered Krishna very nicely. You kept your goal steady, your anchor as Krishna steady. So I'm curious, what were your activities like during those 20 years? How did you practice? How did you remember Krishna? Like, what did you do? When did you wake up?
Some things I never stopped. I've been worshipping Shalagram since 1993, almost 30 years. Always chanting. Sometimes my japa suffered. I was also in the jewelry business, selling stones also. So I was traveling around Midwest United States with about $400,000 or $500,000 worth of precious gemstones in my trunk, my dicky, as you call it in India. And my partner was a Jaini, non-devotee. So I'm doing Shalagram Puja in hotel rooms. I'm trying to get some japa done, trying to chase some dollars. My spiritual life suffered, but I never gave up. So that's what I'm talking about. There's ups and downs. So right now I'm in up phase. You know, we have beautiful, substantial sadhana every morning. I go in Harinam. I do give some classes. I travel. I just got back from North India. We're traveling in Sonipat, Panipat, Chandigarh, Kurukshetra. What was another place? Delhi, Rohini, Dwarka, Punjabi Bagh, Roorkee. What was the other one? The Jagannath? Oh, Kanpur also. We did 100 classes in a month. So that's my happiness. That's my ecstasy. To meet young devotees like all of you.
Amazing, Prabhu. Yes.
It makes me very happy because you're the future of my Guru's institution. Young devotees like you. Because when I see you, I see myself 40 years ago. And, you know, making money, doing this, doing that. So ask yourself, what do you want to be when you're 60, 70 years old? You want to be writing code? Or you want to be living in Mayapur and traveling around the world preaching Krishna Bhakti?
Yeah. I visited Mayapur, Prabhu. It's such a wonderful place. It's so magical. I haven't seen any place like that in my life.
It's 10% wonderful.
Yeah. Well, can you tell a little bit more about Shalagram Shila that you're worshipping?
They say Shalagram attracts Shalagram. My god sister gave me 4 Shalagrams, I think in 1993 or 94. And we're worshipping 20 Shalagrams now. And I've given 6 or 8 of them away, something like that. Shalagram is Krishna, directly Krishna. For Murti Seva, there's a ceremony, Murti Pratishta, where you call Krishna, you please come, be present, accept our little puja, or dupa dipam naivedyam. Please come, be present. There's a ceremony. It can be very involved, complex, or it can be a very simple ceremony. But for Shalagram, he's eternally present in that form. And he accepts simple worship. Or you can do a very complex type worship. We do simple worship. The main ingredient in a worship is bhakti. I want to please you. So we have big tulsi garden up on the roof here. So we offer profuse tulsi to Shalagram and to Jagannath. And we grow flowers. We offer arti, offer chandan, offer some attar, agarbatti, deepam, naivedyam. Simple puja, but with the objective, I just want to please you. I'm yours, you are mine. Please accept my little service. This is puja. Not the artificial, Om swasti no govinda swasti no chutananda swasti no vasudeva vishnu. Yeah, I'm seeing pujaris like that. They're chanting, Om swasti no govinda swasti no chutananda swasti no vasudeva vishnu. I'm coming, okay. Swasti no narayana, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Swasti no narayana.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Krishna wants your love. Puja is an opportunity to offer Krishna your love. That's all. And Shalagram Prabhupada said, "Is mercy incarnation of the Lord?" What is very difficult to do for large murti is very easy to do for Shalagram. Like we have a little swing. So during Julan Yatra, we put Shalagram in the swing. And we swing the Shalagram. Because our swing won't accommodate, we have Jagannath's murti. Actually, I'll show you. I'll walk over to our altar. I'll give you a function.
Thank you.
There's Jagannath. And there's 20 Shalagrams here.
Wow, amazing. And all of them are sitting in Simhasan.
Oh, Haribol, Haribol.
Jagannath doesn't have his crown on, his turban, because he's getting ready for bed.
Beautifully dressed.
We took all the flowers.
Haribol, Haribol.
We took all the flowers and his turban off, because he takes rest by 9 o'clock. So we have a nice life. Krishna is very, very kind. You can't imagine how kind Krishna is. And he's waiting for you. He wants your love. This is bhakti. Most beautiful thing, beautiful life. ठीक है?
ठीक है. धन्यवाद.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.